fallout from the collapse of the cryptocurrency exchange FTX could impact crypto for years to come, from mega mansions to a Super Bowl commercial, exchange hacks, and live tweets from the man sitting at the top of the pyramid. A constant stream of revelations brings confusion, speculation, and the potential for another bankruptcy. With so much going on, it can be hard to know where to start. So, here's 20 key things about the fall of FTX, so you can know exactly what happened. Number 1. The fraud. FTX owes $9 billion in liabilities which it cannot meet. But where did the money go? Let's break it down. $2.3 billion was given as a loan to Paperbird Inc., an entity majority owned by the CEO of FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, otherwise known as SBF. A further $1 billion loan was also given to SBF. There's also a $300 million cash out from a recent FTX fundraising round, and finally $121 million on Bahamas real estate. This leaves $5.3 billion unaccounted for. Number 2. The spend. FTX spent huge amounts on marketing and political donations to promote their brand and SBF's long-term vision, with $375 million going on sports marketing, including to the Golden State Warriors, Miami Heat, and games company Riot Games. A further $190 million was sent to the FTX Foundation, a charity arm that promised more than it could deliver. And finally, $62 million was spent on political donations in 2022 alone. Number 3. The leak. The House of Cards was first tested on November 2nd, when CoinDesk released an article stating it had received a copy of Alameda's balance sheet. The leak revealed that nearly 40% of the asset side of FTX's balance sheet was in FTT or FTT collateral. FTT was FTX's own native exchange token, and, as it would prove, it was extremely volatile. Number 4. The tweet. In response, CEO of Binance, CZ, announces they will be liquidating all of the FTT they had received from an FTX investment exit over the course of a few months. CZ then quote-tweeted an alert of $584 million worth of FTT moving to Binance and claimed, yes, this is part of it. Number 5. The response. Caroline Ellison, CEO of Alameda, offered to buy all of the FTT from Binance in an over-the-counter offer at $22. This made investors wonder why keeping the price above $22 was so important to FTX. After all, there was no risk of insolvency. So they said. Number 6. The sell-off. Solana dumped 17% in 12 hours, losing approximately $1.47 billion in market cap as FTT floats above $22. Presumably, this was FTX, as one of the largest holders of Solana, selling their SOL holdings would generate liquidity in an attempt to hold the $22 price floor. Number 7. The collapse. The floor can only hold for so long. As FTT loses its $22 floor price, it plummets, dropping approximately 85% in just 17 hours. This wiped $6 billion from its market cap. Remember when we said it was volatile? Number 8. The bank run. To compound their issues, FTX experiences $6 billion of net customer withdrawals, rushing for the exit in just 72 hours. They try to slow this by first raising withdrawal fees, but eventually they have no choice and decide to pause withdrawals entirely. Number 9. The hack. Whilst withdrawals were still closed, an individual manages to withdraw $450 million to Ethereum address 0x59. 0x59's on-chain activity meets the criteria for a black hat hacker. Despite wild speculation, their identity remains unknown. $200 million is then withdrawn from the exchange by a white hat FTX employee, in an attempt to rescue the remaining funds. Number 10. The dust settles. On the 11th of November, FTX filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. FTX Group reports a total cash balance of $1.24 billion as of Sunday the 20th of November. While SBF and members of the FTX Foundation resign, John Ray III, who previously led Enron through bankruptcy proceedings, takes the helm at FTX. Number 11. The Contagion. The amount FTX owes Genesis, crypto's largest lender, is revealed to be $200 million. With $200 million lost in FTX, Genesis seeks an emergency $1 billion loan for Monday the 14th of November, which is not met. The loan is likely to help meet impending withdrawals, stemming from the Contagion fears. Genesis then also closes withdrawals on Wednesday the 16th of November. Number 12. The repeat offender. In June of 2022, Genesis lost $1.2 billion when the hedge fund Three Arrows Capital collapsed. At that time, Digital Currency Group, Genesis' parent company, was able to plug the hole, though, as liquidity has steadily receded in the crypto and legacy markets since then, they wouldn't be able to at this time. With Genesis facing another hole from bad debt, Digital Currency Group seeks to raise a $500 million external fundraising loan, which they reduced from $1 billion due to lack of demand. Number 13. The Repercussions. Genesis is the largest institutional crypto lender, providing over $130 billion in loans in 2021 alone. Their insolvency would further constrain liquidity and leverage in crypto markets. Number 14. The Fear. Digital Currency Group is also the parent company to Grayscale and the Grayscale Trust, who created GBTC, an investment trust backed by Bitcoin. The Grayscale Trust currently holds 635,000 Bitcoin, which is 3.1% of the circulating supply. They also hold 3.1 million Ethereum, which is 2.6% of the circulating supply. On Friday the 18th of November, Grayscale announces they wouldn't be providing proof of reserves for quote-unquote security concerns. Number 15. Reg M. DCG has the option to enact Reg M for the Grayscale Trust, which enables trust holders to redeem shares, a power they don't currently have. A significant portion of trust shares are owned by DCG. This would enable them to meet Genesis liabilities by liquidating holdings. Number 16. The market. The implosion, Contagion fears, and potential Grayscale Trust liquidations were reflected in the markets in the 2 weeks that started with the leaked balance sheet. Bitcoin dropped 21%, Ethereum 25%, Solana 63%, and FTT plummeted a staggering 95%. Number 17. Centralized exchange flows. Centralized exchanges have experienced a net $5.5 billion outflow from exchanges over a 7-day period on Ethereum, with Binance alone having $2.3 billion of net outflow. This clearly reflects the change in sentiment towards centralized exchanges. Number 18. Decentralized exchange resilience. As capital and traders previously using FTX search for a new home that they could trust and verify, over the 10 days following FTX's collapse, our benchmark decentralized exchange basket went up 33.8% against Bitcoin. At the same time, our centralized exchange basket went down 4.59% versus Bitcoin. DeFi 1, CeFi 0. Number 19. The Bill. In October, just before the collapse of FTX, SBF hit the news cycle when the draft DCCPA bill was leaked. SBF was a supporter and advisor to the bill, which, if passed, would pose a huge threat to DeFi, whilst strengthening CeFi and FTX's position. Despite the collapse of FTX and the disappearance of $10 billion of users' funds, lawmakers now want to continue forward with the bill. And finally, at number 20, we have the media. Mainstream media channels have begun to cover the FTX and SBF story, and yet they omit exposing the fraud. Instead, they focus on charitable endeavors and political campaigns SBF will no longer be able to finance. SBF makes appearances on Good Morning America and New York Times DealBook Summit, alongside President Zelensky, Mark Zuckerberg, Ben Affleck, and the president of the New York Times, Meredith Kopit Levien. So there you have it. These are the 20 things you need to know about the FTX saga. But this is just the beginning of the story. It'll only be over the coming months and years, like layers of an onion peeling back, that everything will be revealed and we'll find out exactly what happened to the $10 billion of customers' funds and what happens to Sam Bankman-Fried. Be sure to subscribe and head on over to Delphi Digital, where we separate the signal from the noise in the crypto industry with our premium research and analytics platform.